Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing very well. I thought today I would review an interesting and quite amusing article on The Guardian that I found from 2019. It's titled, "And the least feminist nation in the world is Denmark." A poll of more than 25,000 people in 23 major countries found that just 1 in 6 Danes consider themselves a feminist. It's one of the best places in the world to be a woman, with a narrow gender pay gap, equal employment rights, universal nursery care, and some of the happiest female retirees on the planet. So it comes as a surprise to find, in a global survey of attitudes towards gender, equal rights, and the Also Me movement, that Denmark is one of the least feminist countries in the developed world. The poll, conducted by the YouGov Cambridge Globalism Project, more than 25,000 people in 23 major countries, found that just 1 in 6 Danes consider themselves a feminist. A third said that wolf whistling at women in the street was acceptable, and 2 in 5 had an unfavourable view of the Also Me movement. Here we have some comparative data from YouGov, comparing the percentage of people that would label themselves as such, and you can see, unsurprisingly, that Sweden is top of the list. Britain, my own country, is 4th, Australia close behind that, and the US, Turkey even ahead of Denmark, which is quite alarming, and Mexico and Germany. It's a difficult question. What is a modern feminist, muses Helen Frost Hansen, a 37-year-old accountant, as she bites into her sandwich outside her office on Copenhagen's City Hall Square. I don't want to be equal in all senses. No, you just want the parts of equality that you like, that suit you. Pick and choose, cherry pick the pieces that you want. It depends what you mean. I'm just ordinary, says Charlotte Venvik, a 55-year-old, taking her break from the bank where she works. I'm not marching in the streets. According to the data, only a quarter of Danish women consider themselves feminists, a stark contrast to neighbouring Sweden, where 46% do, and a smaller share even than in countries like Italy, Spain and the UK, which otherwise lag far behind Denmark on gender equality. Even Denmark's Equality Minister Karen Ellemann declared that she didn't consider herself one when she took up the post 3 years ago. Of a dozen women approached in the Danish capital, only 1 had time for the F word. Yes, and I had 3 daughters and raised them all as feminists, says Charlotte Matheson. The man has to do exactly the same jobs as the women. I bet he doesn't. I bet he doesn't. I bet he has a construction job. I bet his job is much more manual, much more risky, and pays a lot more. In fact, more Danish women are happy to be wolf whistled than called a feminist, according to the survey. That's really remarkable. I'm very surprised at that. Fully 1/3 say it is acceptable, the highest proportion than in any country other than Nigeria. I don't mind it so long as it's done in a nice way, says Hansen. I see it as a compliment, actually, she says. A lot of Danish women say that they would like men to be more like in Southern Europe and tell you how nice you look. Yeah, but that's completely subjective, isn't it? It's subjective. If you like the guy, then it's going to be okay. If you don't like the guy, if you think he's ugly or he's a creep, then it's not going to be accepted or appreciated, and you're going to want to do something about that. Rikke Andresen, Professor of Communication Studies at Roskilde University, argues that one reason Danes tolerate low-level sexual harassment is the belief that what is meant well should be excused. We've had a culture where what you say isn't offensive if you don't intend it to be, she explains. You can grab a woman, but so long as you did it because it was fun, then culturally we tend to think it's not that bad. This may be part of the reason the debate triggered by Also Me has played out so differently in Denmark than it has across the Øresund Straits in Sweden. And I apologise to my Scandinavian listeners if I'm butchering these words. Only 4% of men and 8% of women in Denmark questioned in the survey said they had a very favourable impression of the Also Me movement, compared to 16% and 34% in Sweden, and 19% and 24% across all the countries in the survey. Sarah, 32, who's out walking her baby on the nearby Kulturvet Square, worries that Also Me will make men feel constrained in their relationships with women. I think some men are afraid of talking to women at work in case they get accused of something. That's just rational self-preservation, is it not? It's like Star Trek or something, you're putting the shields up on your ship preemptively, just in case a Klingon bird of prey decloaks and launches a torpedo at you. It's just common sense, right? Just like locking the front door on your way out to work. Andresson's research on the Alter Me movement has found that while in Sweden the media treated it as a political issue, in Denmark it was covered in the culture and opinion pieces of the newspapers, with very few men outed. I still can't get over the statistic that almost a third of Danes consider wolf whistling acceptable. And Turkey's way down at the bottom there. Britain, third. Yeah, fairly remarkable stat. Given that, as Jordan Peterson has said on many occasions, that Scandinavian countries have done more than any other in the world to advance the equality of men and women. And it just seems to generate pushback and, blowback in the opposite direction, pushing them apart. A lot of people have been writing about whether it's really true that women are being harassed or that women are being too sensitive, and they focused a lot of what would happen to a man who has been falsely accused. She suspects the resistance to seeing harassment as a problem might also reflect the way politicians in Denmark have accused isuba of women is only an issue among the country's Muslims. But there's another reason that you probably shouldn't quote me on. She laughs. Maybe my country is just really misogynist. The more you do to advance the cause of feminism in the West, and certainly these Scandinavian nations, the more people move towards more traditional perspectives, and it just pushes back on itself. And the best thing you could do, we are well positioned by going our own way, because none of this garbage matters to us, in a sense. We can just sit back and watch it all happen. But no, it's clearly no one knows what they want. They're sort of being pulled one way by their biology and in another direction by their ideology. And I don't want any part of it. I'm happy just to navigate the trials and tribulations of this life in my own time and on my own dime. And I strongly urge you to do the same. But again, so you have your free will, independence. You can either adopt a similar sort of lifestyle and see how it benefits you, or you can do you. And I invite everybody to follow that worldview. Thanks for listening again, as always, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new content. Like and comment on the video, generate some discussion. And I'll see you in the next one.